Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome back to Study Buddy. In the series of learning HTML and CSS, today is our lecture number 17, and lecture number 17 is all about how to create tables in HTML. So for creating in tables in HTML, the first thing we should know is what is table. In the given picture, you can clearly see that a table is a two-dimensional structure which consists of some rows and some columns. Rows have horizontal direction and columns have vertical direction. For example, if you want to generate your row 1, then you have to combine some horizontal boxes, and if you want to create your column, then you have to combine some vertical boxes. Okay, and in that way you will have your complete table. Now we are going to create a table by using HTML coding in our Visual Studio. Here is our Visual Studio. So the first thing for creating a table is we are going to use a tag called table tag. Now, as we know that our table consists of rows and columns, for creating rows, the tag we are going to use is tr tag. Let's say if you want to create 3 rows in your table, then you have to write tr tag 3 times. So here I have generated 3 rows in my table. So the next step I will do is generating a column. If you want to create your column, then the tag you have to use is td tag for creating column and also for putting data. But the only thing you have to remember is that the td tag is used within the tr tag. Okay, so here is my first row in which I will write td tag 3 times because I want to generate 3 columns in my row 1. Here I will give some data 1, data 2, data 3. So in this way I have generated 3 columns in my first row. I will copy this from here and paste it into my other 2 rows. Now we will execute this and see how will it look like this. Now you can clearly see that here I have generated 3 rows and 3 columns in my table, but it is not a good format because it doesn't have any kind of border. So for giving some border to it, we are going to use an attribute called border in a table tag. So the border is 1. Now it will look like this. Now it has some format, a complete format, a table which consists of some rows and some columns. Okay, so the next thing we are going to learn is if anyone wants to put some heading in column 1, column 2 and column 3, then the only thing he should do is he should create a separate tr tag within which he will write. Okay, so the tag used for heading is th tag. Okay, for giving heading to column 1, you will write here column 1 and then second heading for column 2, so th tag is used for heading. Okay, and the third heading is for column 3. Now you can clearly see that it is clearly mentioned that this is my first column and this is my second column and this is my third column. Now if you want to create a heading in the row, then what will you do? You will use th tag in every single row. Okay, row 1, row 2, and row 3. Now it will look like this. Here you can see, here is my first heading, here is my second heading, and here is my third heading. After creating some headings in columns and rows, the first thing I want to tell you is you can not only put some data or some content in your rows and table, you can also give some image in your rows or in your column, okay? And also you can put some links like Google link or any social link into your rows and columns. Now you can see, here is my image, here is my data 2, and here is my data 3. Now the next thing we are going to learn is, if you want to combine two columns in a row 1, then the attribute you are going to use is called span. In here, the td tag we use for data 2, here you are going to use an attribute called call span and write 2 and remove data 3, save it and refresh your page. Now you can see that in row 1 I have combined my two columns by using call span. Similarly, if you want to combine two rows in your table, then you have to use row span. So here is our today's lecture. If you have any kind of query, you can ask in comment section. Today's lecture is really very simple. The only thing you will do is, for generating rows you are going to use tr tag, and for generating columns you are going to use td tag, which can also be used for putting data, okay? The only thing you have to remember is td tag is always being used within the tr tag, okay? And if you want to put some heading for in columns, then you have to create a separate tr tag in which you use, if you want to generate 3 columns, then you have to use 3 th tags, okay? And if similarly, if you want to generate headings in case of columns, rows, then you have to use th tag separately only once in every single tr tag, okay? Thank you so much, guys. Allah Hafiz.